Hey, it's Doris with Aldi Books. Happy Friday. I just have a few books to wrap up from August, so let's jump right in. The Monster of Florence, a true story by Douglas Preston with Mario Spezzi. This is a true crime. Silence of the Lambs was based on this serial killer. The outstanding points of this book were the little bits about Italian culture. For example, he says that Italians tend to marry later in life, so they spend some time in cars getting to know each other. One of the drawbacks of this book is that Douglas Preston goes to live in Italy for a few years with his family, and you know, I don't know enough about Italy, Italian culture, Italian literature to know if he's making generalizations, which I suspect he is at times. Another generalization he makes is about the Italian criminal justice system, I should say. He paints them as being very chaotic, corrupt, and inept. So I don't know. I cannot comment on that other than what I have read in here. This book, yeah, it's interesting. However, he spends a lot of time talking about all of the leads that he goes down with. Mario Spezzi is the Italian press that covered this story back when it was originally breaking. So interviews with him. So they kind of co-wrote it with Mario Spezzi providing the bulk of the research, which I really appreciate that he's headlining there. That's awesome. So yeah, all of those leads, like, that could have been interesting, but the leads weren't that interesting, so it wasn't, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, it was good. The cover is interesting. It's this Sabine, the rape of the Sabine women, and I don't know if any of you grew up watching Broadway musicals turned into movies with your mothers, but I did, and I love them. One of my favorites was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and the Sabine Women Song and Dance. At the time I didn't know that it was based on the rape of the Sabine women, but you know. Yeah. Anyway, probably a theme in this pile of books is how society has changed. This one is okay, Daring and the Duke by Sarah MacLean. This is a Regency romance. The first two in this series were really good, and what Sarah MacLean shines at is I mean, these romance novels are fantasies to begin with, but she really takes it up a notch in the fantasy world with her books and infuses very progressive feminist timelines that, you know, weren't happening back in the day. So this one, our lead character is, you know, this woman is an excellent street fighter and ends up running a house of entertainments for women. Yeah. Which, you know, fun timeline there, but I am convinced, my theory is the writing in this was, I'm going to say bad. I thought it was terrible writing, which was weird because, like I said, her other books in the series were great. I think that this story was one she wrote a long, long time ago when she was first, you know, practicing her craft and was never published. Like, it was, you know, practice, I guess. And she kind of recycled it without polishing it enough. Like, it didn't have, there was only one scene in the whole book that had the witty, clever, charming repartee that she is known for. So I just think she didn't put the effort into making that what it should have been, which is unfortunate. Then I finished An Hour Before Daylight by Jimmy Carter, Memories of a Rural Boyhood. This was excellent. This was a finalist for the Pulitzer. I think it should have won. And Jimmy Carter just records memories from his 1930s childhood. So it's just this excellent time capsule of those years. So you see rural America changing from a more agrarian society into a more industrialized society, horses to tractors, that kind of thing. And he gives you a glimpse into the what I call casual racism in the South. For example, his mother was quite progressive for the time, so black Americans could not come to the front doors of white Americans in society at that time, but his mother completely disregarded that and let her friend in the front door. His father was much more traditional, so the African American minister in the community, a very well respected and powerful man in the community, obviously would not disrespect himself to come to the back door. So when he and Jimmy Carter's dad wanted to chat, he would drive up and honk, and Jimmy's dad would come and chat with him at the car or under the big oak tree in the front yard. So many interesting insights into society and the changing times in this book, and I just loved it. I loved it so much. It reminded me of my dad. My dad was born in 1935, so he was a little bit later than Jimmy Carter, but maybe 8-10 years later. But my dad's rural childhood and growing up at the end of the Great Depression, it was just, I loved it. It was like listening to my dad chat sometimes. And then I finished The Blood of Emmett Till by Timothy B. Tyson. And, this one. So this one was set in 1955-56. It opens up with the murder of Emmett Till. Very, very brutal descriptions of the body. So I need to tell you that. What I was unexpected with this for me, and I didn't know what to expect, but the whole middle section is describing the culture and the politics of the era and how that contributed to this murder. So it wasn't just let's protect the sanctity of our white women in the South. I mean, it was that, but it was also set in the backdrop of the Brown versus the Board of Education and how that was triggering to this cross-section of white America, and how that played into keeping the blacks in their place and how this murder happened. So very insightful read. And then the last section is the courtroom trials. So when I was reading this, especially the end section, well, the beginning actually initiated the thought, but Emmett Till's murder, it was touted as, the instance with the white woman in the store, it was touted as attempted murder, like this 14-year-old disenfranchised boy in society in a public place with a 21-year-old woman with children is going to, but it was touted as attempted murder rape, and then this 14-year-old boy was murdered for it. And then I won't spoil the trial for you, but it's history. But the parallels with that book, that story in time, with another true story that I read recently, which was Chanel Miller's Know My Name, in which a woman is sexually assaulted on campus. Witnesses are, you know, rip him from the assault as it's happening, and she still loses like years of her life dealing with this incident and trying to get justice. Yeah. And her attacker, you know, is billed in the media as this misunderstood boy, and he's a grown in college white. So there's that. What struck me was that, you know, they're both watershed moments in history, pivotal moments in their social fields, and you see these two strong women on the witness stand, victims of these crimes and treated as the instigators. It just makes me so angry. And then, you know, the dichotomy between their attackers, you know, like the culprit is actually the white woman who lies, and the men who kill in Emmett's Hill, and the man who actually sexually assaults this woman on the street in Know My Name. And the way those attackers are treated in society, you know, the similarities and contrast there is damning. So yeah. And on that note, no, let me wrap it up. Let's see. I am still reading The Color of Law, Bully Pulpit. I'm so proud I can say that now. Bully Pulpit, effortlessly. Practice makes perfect, friends. I started The Switch by Beth O'Leary, and is that it? I feel like there's one more, but oh, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. So yeah, I haven't started anything new outside of those because I want to finish a couple before I dive into September reads. So anyway, happy weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.